Hey, what's up, guys? We're here at 103rd Street Tire Center. This is my dad's shop. He's been here since 1989. This is the place where I actually learned about entrepreneurship, about community, and just helping people. Today is Monday. It's 11 a.m. And I've taken some time away from the office to just escape. My daughter actually is asleep in the car right now. She's being lazy. But I just wanted to come by, see my dad and my brother. And so I figured while I was here, I'll tell you guys a little bit about the shop, the history, and how this all started. ¿Vas a salir aquí o no? Ah, ok. Ven para acá, ven para acá. Let me think. So like I said, my dad's been here since 1989. Think about that. That's over 37 years or 36 years of running your own shop. And if there's anything that I've learned is that this does not stop. Monday through Sunday, they're here, they're in, they're zoned in, and they're helping whoever pulls up. I'm here with my brother Benny. He's basically the owner right now of 103rd Street Tire Center.
I run this.
He's basically running the shop while my dad's resting at home, and then they swap. So tell me a little bit about 103rd Street Tire Center, what you guys do here.
We've been here since 1989. I haven't been here, I'm not that old, okay? I've only been here 25 years. Bro, I feel old. 25 years I've been here.
25 years, bro?
Nah, just, we sell tires. We fix flats. You know, that's it. And I help people out. You know, if I don't know how to do it, I can tell you more or less what's going on. And I'm not going to make any money off of you because I don't know how to do it and we don't do it here. But at least I can point you in the right direction.
Let me ask you this. So you've been here since you were basically about, I remember, like 18. Actually, you enjoyed coming here as a kid when I hated it. Like I knew from the beginning, I wanted nothing to do with this place.
I never liked this place. I always liked the money when I was little, man. You wanted
So that's why you enjoyed the money more than anything else.
Yeah, I know that I got to spend time with Dad. I still spend time with Dad. I think I enjoy it less now.
Why? Why do you say you enjoy it less now?
Because Dad's a teenager now, man, and he's a pain in the butt.
So you're the one, you're taking care
I'm
of.
his father now. Times, like, things change quick, man, you know?
What have you learned from Papi from being here for the past 20, 25 years?
Ooh, patience. Patience, consideration. Yeah, man.
Why?
Consideration.
Why do you say patience and consideration?
Patience, Dad doesn't, you know, Papi doesn't sweat nothing, man. Like, the world could be falling around him and he's just happy to be there. He's just chilling. I got a good story. What was it? When I first started here, I remember those kids coming, putting air in their bikes. And I'm like, Dad, like, why are you here messing with these kids, man? Like, you're not going to make no money off of them. He just looked at me and he goes, before you know it, these kids are going to be here with their cars coming here. And I've been here long enough that I've seen it happen, you know, over the years.
So he sees more of a long-term vision when he's taking care of people.
Yeah.
We want the immediate exchange, and Papi was kind of teaching you like, oh no, we need to look down the road, and if we start taking care of these people since they're kids now, eventually they become our customers because we've established trust with them.
Yeah, but not only that, also with the older people who are retired. Like I used to, like the old people come here, and Dad always tells me, he goes, man, when somebody like an old man or woman, they come and they're short on money, help them out. They don't got the money, put the tire on their car because they're living off, you know, they're living off of their little check that they're getting from retirement, and you know, just help them when we can.
Yeah.
You know, if they don't got it, you gotta, you know, when you get that age, you want somebody to help you.
Of course, but that's hard because that goes against what the way a lot of people practice business, because most people would view that as a loss. So where do you think Papi got that mentality of giving to the community? Because I've gotten a lot of my business, I don't know, just the way I run my business from Papi, because I saw that he's big on helping the community with the long-term vision of that's going to come back no matter, maybe not even monetarily, but just to me, it's like karma. You're doing good for the universe, so it comes back to you.
Whatever you give, you'll get back tenfold. Maybe not from that person, but it'll come from somebody else. I've had crackheads come here with their tire on the floor. I put the tire on and get bye,
And they're gone.
and guess what? They never give me the money back, but they'll come back with somebody else. You know, I just want to get them out of here, but you know, it all works itself out.
But where do you think that Papi developed that mindset, right? Because Papi got here when he was, what, 15 years old from Cuba, just trying to figure it out, grinding and hustling like everybody else. He opens up a tire shop. What do you think gives him that mindset to say, no, I got to give to the community, and somehow that comes back around?
I don't think it's that deep with Dad. Just Dad knows. Dad has been in those people's position. He's been there in life that he needed a handout. So, like, that's one thing I learned from Dad, putting myself in somebody else's perspective rather than just my own. Being able to see something through someone else's eyes, which a lot of people don't have that ability.
Yeah.
But I think I was blessed with seeing that, or I guess learning that from Dad.
Yeah.
That you can, you know, it's not just about you. You got to try to have consideration, have an understanding of where that person's coming from.
What are some other things that you've learned from Dad since you've been working with him for the past 25 years?
Oh, patience with him. I'm still working on that. Because he'll do something and it's like, why did you do it? And he just doesn't care and keeps doing it that way. And it's like, man, it's going to be easier if you just listen to me.
Yeah.
So just patience, you know, just because, you know, Dad never gets mad. I've seen Dad pissed off once in my life, and I'm his son.
Yeah. I've barely seen him. I've honestly barely seen him upset.
Exactly. Nothing.
So you are now you're 43, 44 years old. I'm going to be
43.
42. You're 43, you're going to be 44 this year.
Yeah.
So we're getting older, obviously. I don't know, as we're honestly at our midlife, we probably have 30, maybe 40 more years in our lives, right? Where do you want this to go in the next 30 to 40 years? What do you want to do with this?
I don't want it to die with me, to be honest. That's what scares me, because Dad had me. I have a daughter, I got Emily. I don't want her here, she don't want to be here. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what the future brings. I used to ask Dad all the time, like, Dad, like, you have a retirement, like, I'm not going to make enough money when I retire. He goes, you sell all of this and just retire with the money. But it's a legacy, you know. It was abuelo, it was Dad, and now it's me. And for it to die with me, like, it hurts. Like, it's not always about the money. That's what I figured out. Not always about the money.
But why? So why is that legacy so important to you? Because there's ways that you could keep a business running, obviously, without you being here. And we talk about this all the time. I'm not here to argue with you. That's my belief. I know that I can make this run without you. I know it, and I believe it, and I know it can happen. It's just that's a different story.
Okay, so
we don't
40.
have all day.
In 20 years, I'll show you the shop and you try it out. We'll see how that works.
If you give me 10 years, because after 50,
no, 10 years, no, I'm still gonna be here. I got nowhere to go.
Yeah, but that's when you got to start taking the steps to make it move forward.
I don't want a partner. I'll sell you that shit. You can take it.
Oh, well, that's different. That's a different story. No, because so the thing is, when you sell a business like this, you always have to be part of that transfer of power, because you can't just give it away to somebody and expect for it to succeed, because it's not.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of intricacies that exist that only you know, that I will never know. So if you just handed it to me like that, the legacy is definitely going to die.
Yeah, because
so
they want to see me, they want to see Dad.
So you have to be part of that transfer of power. Otherwise, yes, it will fail. But why is that legacy so important to you?
Never really thought about it. I don't know. It's when I'm gone, it's all that's going to be left of me, I guess. I never really thought about it, but now that I'm thinking about it, it's part of me. It's something that I helped build, and when I'm gone, I want something to keep going. You know, that's what a legacy is, isn't it?
Yeah. No, it's funny because I feel the exact opposite. Like in my business, I'm happy with what I'm building, but I think I'll be just as happy if somebody came to me today and said, "Here's $15 million. Have a good one." I will say, take it.
If the number's big enough, yeah, I'll walk away from it.
Yeah.
You know, that I can chill.
So there you go. Is there a price to put on legacy?
Ooh, yeah, probably. Everything's for sale. Everything's for sale.
I wouldn't say everything, but.
Oh, you know what I mean. Come on.
But that's what I'm saying, because part of you was very emotionally charged talking about this thing you've built. Because I mean, if you look at this place, there's details everywhere, right? Of effort and little projects that you worked on, and you putting your heart into it, right? You walk inside, there's a chandelier with a tire on it. There's a table with a tire on it. There's a mirror in the bathroom. Everything that you've built from your ideas and your hands, right? It came from nothing. It came from the memories that you had with Mom, of her teaching us art. right? Of crafting, of creating, and then
Just try to keep yourself busy. I guess all those projects just came because, oh, my wife says that I always have to have a little project. I always got to be doing something. So that's just part of me. Like, my mother-in-law says that she always says, Betty loves to work. It's like, I don't love to work. I just you gotta keep your mind occupied, because if you're not doing something productive, then you're most likely doing something negative.
Or your thoughts consume you. That's what happens to a lot of people. They live an idle life. They don't pursue anything. They're not being productive. They're not chasing after something.
The wheels keep turning.
Exactly. Then your mind starts eating you up because of that complacency. And so you start getting caught up in problems that don't even exist, instead of focusing on a problem that you can solve readily.
Or problems that are none of your business.
Or problems that are none of your business, yeah.
And that's a form of entertainment as well.
So yeah, man, I just think that, honestly, I want to say thank you. You've put a lot of love into this space. You've honored Papi. You've helped him. You've carried this shit. So I appreciate you, bro.
I've done a lot of things here that I literally thought were gonna be over his dead body. So for him to be able to see it, like, it makes me happy. He doesn't notice. I don't know. I never get a good job from Dad ever.
Yeah.
I get criticism and I just laugh.
But listen, I will say this about Papi. He doesn't mean it to be critical. I think he has that mindset of almost like self-preservation. I think most people that come from Cuba, it's about self-preservation. You're trying to save what you have. You're trying to hold on to even the garbage or whatever it is, because you need to survive for tomorrow. So his fear in making improvements or making investments within the infrastructure comes more from a sense of fear of losing rather than seeing that long-term vision. It's interesting because we talked about earlier, Papi has this long-term vision for helping people and helping the community, but then when he starts thinking about investing back into the business, he's hesitant and frugal.
I don't even think he has a vision. He just does whatever's in his heart. He does whatever's right. I don't think he even thinks that much about it. Hold on, I gotta get some money.
Go for it. Yeah, it's interesting just sitting here talking to my brother because, I'm hearing stories about my dad and stories about, I guess, the way that my brother perceives my dad's perspective on life. And I'm realizing how complex and complicated we all are. Because you could do something that makes perfect sense in one breath, like helping the community and giving back, but then in the same breath, when you're trying to build your business, you almost have to have that long-term vision. You have to have that long-term vision of reinvesting, and so it's this weird back and forth that's going on. When you look at this place right now, like, what does it look like for you?
It looks badass, man. It's half a block, man. Some people told me they're like, oh, is this new? I've never seen it before. I'm like, this is half a block. That's because they go over the bridge and they don't look sideways. They don't look anyway.
How important is the location of this place? Because you're right off of 103rd Street, coming over the bridge that separates East Hialeah. Hialeah is right there. I-95 is that way. Like, how important do you think the location of this place has been to its success?
Location. That's what Dad saw when he came here in '89. That's what he saw. This was abandoned. This was a crack house.
It was an abandoned gas station, and that was a crack house.
No, it was just abandoned. It was before that. It was a hardware store, and it had been abandoned for years. You don't know the story? That Dad came to ask. He came to the people next door and he asked about the property, about this, and he finally got in contact with the owners. And this is how you know it's old school. He goes, okay, clean it up, then we'll talk.
And Bobby came and cleaned it up. Without no contract, no paperwork.
No, nothing. It's like, you really want this? Show me.
So and he did, and then they had a handshake agreement, and they had rent since then.
Yeah, handshake, then a lease. You gotta always have a lease, kids.
That's crazy.
Don't get into business.
Yeah, if somebody told me, oh, you want this property, you want to rent here, then clean it up, I would be like, yeah, no, sorry, thanks. I don't see how that would work today in 2025.
It depends, necessity, Like, he really wanted it, he saw the potential in it. And you can always tell when you talk to somebody, Are they going to use you, or he had faith, I guess.
Hey, let's walk around this way. So, okay, so as you walk around and you look at all these little projects, like, I know that you did this roof. I mean, everything looks brand new, right? Established 1989, that's a new sign, new signage. Shout out to Art Monster who did the sign back there for me, custom made.
Oh, I never seen it from this angle. You see the small one, the big one?
Yeah. So what does this look like to you, man? I know you said
It looks like a legitimate business, you know. Back in the days, we didn't have no uniforms. Everybody looked there. We looked like a team. You know, that's what I wanted.
you wanted everything to look uniform. You wanted to, like, to have the mom and pop feel, but still to have some corporate.
Yeah.
It's a corporate entity, so it's well identified in terms of the logo and everything.
Yeah, man.
else.
Most tire shops you go to, you see a guy just with a dirty ass shirt. You know, the guys wear their own pants, but everybody's got the shirt on. You know, representing.
What's been the hardest part about running this business?
The things that come out of nowhere, inspectors, stuff like that, employees, finding employees. I finally got a good team. It took a long time. Because I started getting employees, not that. I think employees has always been tough.
How hard? So how hard has that been? Just getting the right team on board? Because if there's anything, that's something I've struggled with, is getting the right people around me. It's been 5 years. I feel like my team is pretty well established. How hard is it here, where this is probably a business where people are transient and coming and going?
It is hard. Like I said, after the pandemic, I guess that helped. And it was not in the pandemic, like, you know, when the floodgates opened, when Biden was here, that helped. They brought a lot of people in, people that wanted to work. Some people that didn't want to work. Some of them didn't last. Some of them are still here. So believe it or not, you know, that helped when they opened up the borders. I got some, you know, I seen the good and the bad of what happened. But for me, it's been mostly positive, you know. I got good, hardworking guys, you know. It's not the typical people that I used to have. All of my employees have a car back in the days.
Yeah, it
was not good.
How hard is it to just keep employees, I guess, happy with the current wages? What do you think keeps them here? Because these guys, this team of people you've had here, has been here for a bit. What do you think keeps them here?
Ooh. I don't know, because I know I'm a pain in the butt. I guess Dad's chilling, you know. We're not so serious. Like, you know, if you have a problem, you know, I'm willing to help you. If you got to leave early, as long as it doesn't happen all the time, like, we're understanding, you know. We're human. We got problems just like anybody else. So you come to me correct, and, you know, we'll figure it out. We'll try to help you. And what keeps them here is the tips.
The tips,
I don't that's that good.
That's what keeps them here, the tips?
I believe it, yeah. And also, you know, like, Dad's easygoing. Basically, this is how it works. In the morning, I come here, I try to, like, you see this mess here? I try to fix it up, and then Dad comes here and screws it all up. So in the morning, I'm on top of the guys, and in the afternoon, everybody's chilling. So I think that's a good balance that we have.
What gives you a sense of satisfaction about working here?
Gives me a sense of satisfaction from working here. Oh, I never thought about that. Gives me a sense of satisfaction. I don't know, being able to help people, just talk to people, you know. I remember back in the days, I used to be more focused in the work. Now, since I have a good team, I can actually sit down and have conversations with people, like we're having now.
Yeah.
Before, it was just like, I didn't have enough employees. I was just, you know, my attitude wasn't right because I was overworked and I was tired. And now I can actually sit down and have a conversation and laugh. And I'm actually, you know, I'm appreciating it more.
Yeah.
Like before, it just felt like, you know, like I was a slave to it.
Yeah, if there's anything I remember about the shop is the fact that, I mean, Papi comes here on his days off, right? So he has this sense of community that exists here.
Yeah.
It sounds like you're starting to experience the same thing.
Yeah, somewhat. Dad, for real, this is his house. Like, Dad opens up on Christmas here.
Yeah.
And people always say, why is your dad here on Christmas? I was like, what's he going to do at home?
Yeah, it's not because
is somebody going to visit him? He's not going to visit anybody.
Yeah.
Dad likes to feel like he's the king. And he doesn't even go next door to the store. He'll send somebody. If Dad wants somebody to do a job, he summons people. Like back in the days when the king used to summon somebody.
Do you think that's what it is?
Dad does not leave his castle.
But you think that's out of comfort, or do you think that's I
think it's out of comfort.
I'm talking to you and I'm trying to understand Papi better because I don't have the relationship that you do with him because you're here with him every day. So you've been able to analyze his psychology. I don't think it's that he wants to summon people. It might just be he's comfortable and that's what he wants to do. He wants to just be laid back and
he likes. This is his house. This is his house. I say it all the time. This is his home. He knows everybody in the neighborhood where he lives. He knows maybe his two neighbors, but he doesn't know the entire community. Over here, everybody knows Benny. You know, and he likes that. And that's why on Christmas he's here. He makes a little bit of money. People that haven't been around for years or moved out of the neighborhood are visiting other family members, and he gets to see people again.
Yeah, let's come back there. But don't you think I'm standing here talking to you, and I'm thinking that this is similar to Cuba, right? In the sense where In Cuba, when you're in a barrio, right? You're hanging out, and there's all these people that are transient that are passing in front of you. They're bringing you cafe. They're saying what's up, and there's these constant relationships that are forming on a social level, right? Where if I'm at home, who's coming by my house? Who's just knocking on my door, bringing me coffee? Who's coming by to say hi? How are you? Nobody. It's isolated, and so I'm thinking like this is a continuation of the life that Papi was probably living in Cuba, right? Where you're hanging out, you're on the block, and there's constantly movement, there's constantly action. I'm ADD like Papi is, so I need that stimulation in my life too. I can't live that same regimented lifestyle every day.
Yeah, like I couldn't be in a cubicle.
No.
I think about that. I was like, I couldn't be in an office all
Just
day.
I know people who live off of emails. So Ellie asked me yesterday, oh, why haven't you checked your email? I was like, bro, I barely check my emails.
Call me. Or don't even text me. If you want to deal
Call
with
me,
call me.
Call me, text me, DM me, and I will respond right away. You write me an email, you better call me, text me, or DM me saying, I wrote you an email. Right? So that's the difference. And I think that's why a lot of people start struggling when they come from Cuba, is that they think it's just going to be awesome here in the United States, but they don't realize they're missing that huge sense of friendship and community that existed day in and day out.
And they also got to work.
And they got to work.
Because in Cuba, you don't have to work. You can work, but you don't have to work the way you work here.
Yeah, the hustle is different. The rent's not there.
You got to work here to have a roof over your head. Over there, you got a roof over your head, whether you're working or not.
Yeah, man.
Still glad to be here. I don't want to be in Cuba.
I hear you. So what else, bro? What do you want to tell the people? Anything?
Go to school, study something, learn a trade. If not, I got a job for you.
No, I think that
I tell these guys all the time when they come, like the young kids, they're 20, 19, 20, and they come from Cuba and they come here, and I tell them, bro, go take a class, learn a trade, because if you don't, I'm gonna profit off of you. So.
What have you learned about, I guess, dealing with people in terms of sales? Like, what are some things that you've learned to close a sale that otherwise one of your employees won't be able to close?
Confidence, knowledge, just the way you speak to somebody. When you talk to somebody, you know if they're full of it or if they know what they're talking about. I obviously been doing this long enough that I know what I'm talking about. Also, like not be too serious, and be confident. Just talk to somebody like you know them. Mm-hmm. That's it.
Do you feel like a lot of people get uncomfortable having hard conversations when it's especially about money? Like when you're doing some sort of business deal, maybe not necessarily with tires, but just in general.
Yeah.
I'll tell you why.
I do.
Go ahead. You have trouble having hard conversations like that?
No, hard conversation. No, you just when I'm getting estimates and stuff, like for any job, it's like first off I don't pick the first guy. I ask around, and then I'm trying to understand like the difference in prices. Like what is it that you're doing exactly? It might be annoying, but I tell the people, I sell tires. I know what I'm talking about. You know what you're doing. I'm trying to understand the scope of your work. Because if not, then they're like, oh no, hey, but we didn't talk about that, and it's like, bro.
Oh yeah, I mean I've been running into that with construction because they tell you have to be very specific in terms of every item, and when you're a novice and you don't know what's going on, you don't know every item that's necessary to complete the job. So you start feeling like you're being dicked around.
I ask them from the beginning, look, to finish this, what do you got to do?
Yeah, what's required from A to Z, and I think that's important, the clarification, because otherwise.
Remember, most of the people that are contractors, like especially in construction, they're usually workers. They're not. They just started their own business. That's why usually they have salesmen in the business, and then they have the actual guys that do the work. It depends who you're dealing with.
Yeah.
Bigger companies, they charge you more because they got the salesman that's running around giving estimates, and then they got the people that actually do the job.
Yeah, but the hard part is just feeling like you're getting upsold constantly, right? The hard part is like you know what you want, and you think that the end product costs this much money, but then all of a sudden they tack on all these other costs that you thought were already in the original cost.
That happened to me the other day. I helped somebody find the transmission for their car, and the guy's $2,500. Okay, $2,500. And the bill comes, and then he's charging for oil and this, and it's like, why didn't you tell me that at the beginning?
Yeah, why is this not part of the cost?
That's why here I'm very specific here when we sell tires. The price is mounted, balanced, everything, because nobody likes that, and I don't like doing it to other people. I can tell you this tire, I can tell you this tire is $80. Oh crap, it's $100 tire. I'm gonna eat it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't like somebody that screwed up, changed the price on me. Then you're like, are you trying to get over on me? Like it gets a bad taste in your mouth.
Yeah.
If I make the mistake, I eat it. Because I wouldn't want it done to me.
Yeah, I just had that conversation this morning. I had signed a contract with someone, and I told them You know, hey, I'm in a tough spot right now. I'm doing a construction in a building, XYZ. That person started to get frustrated a little bit, and I said, hey, listen, I'm gonna honor my word. I just want you to hear my perspective, because I've looked out for you throughout your process, and now I'm telling you to hear me. If you want to, I'm going to honor the price that I gave you. I'm going to honor that what's on the contract. If there's any leeway, but also moving forward, we're going to have to look at that contract again, because I'm not going to be able to continue this way. See what I'm saying? Like, a contract is never fixed. It could always be amended. It could always be changed down the road, especially if both parties don't feel like they're winning. Like, if I do business with you, I need to feel like it is a compromise in the end. I shouldn't walk away feeling so good, and you shouldn't walk away feeling shafted. We should both walk away feeling like I got what I paid for and I got what I expected.
Something like that happened to me too with an employee. And nothing. I forgot that they leave early, they do certain things, and I agreed to pay them more. And I forgot that they leave early on certain days. So I'm still paying the full day with the raise.
Yeah.
So I kind of felt like but I was just like, you know what? But this person does take the initiative. They do step up. So why am I going to get into this when they save me from you have to weigh it out.
Yeah.
You know?
And that's what I looked at. I started looking at the details of what that person brings to the table, but I also left it at the point where I said, I appreciate everything that you do, the customer service that you bring, the care that you deliver to the patients, but in the same breath, you have to look at the perspective of the business side. And there's a bunch of gaps in your schedule, et cetera, et cetera. Like,
that's not even something I would talk about. I would just be like, I'm going to fill in these gaps. But that's kind of, what's that called?
No, I'd rather be transparent. I believe in having that communication, that back and forth. But it was funny, when we began the conversation, she started it with, I didn't want to have this conversation at the beginning of the day. And she was already charged.
That's funny.
So she was already charged up about it. And I said, hey. I said, listen, I'm going to speak to you the same way I always have. There's no animosity, there's no anger, there's no resentment. This is for you and I to understand one another. And I think a lot of people, when they're going to have a difficult conversation, they get charged up before the conversation's ever been had.
They're anticipating. They have their own conversation in their head.
Yeah, they're defensive. They've already conjured up how the direction of the conversation. Say, hey, let's slow down, let's take it back. And at first it was via text. And I said, no, call me. Because they need to hear tone. They need to hear my sense of, even the way I speak, I'm going to deliver that sense of empathy and understanding in the tone that I'm using, which via text, she's sending me highlighted portions of the contract, and I'm just, and with very firm language. And I was like, hey, that's cool. Call me. And then we had the conversation. I heard her, she heard me, and we both walked away satisfied with the way that conversation ended. If I would have dealt with that in any other manner, it would have either been, you're fired or I quit, which that wasn't what she wanted, and that was not what I wanted. I just wanted us to both be heard and understood. And so it ended up working out, which is cool, you know? But if you don't have the hard conversation, it doesn't work out and it ends ugly. And that's in any relationship in your life.
I'm sorry, but that's just funny that you mentioned that, because I remember Dad in the morning, like, I don't want to start the conversation like this. Something could happen in the afternoon here at the shop, and then Dad doesn't address it. So then I want to address it in the morning, and Poppy's there, like, he goes, oh, no, like, not to start off the day like that. Like, that employee's going to have an attitude. I'm like, but if I don't check them down, when am I going to do it?
Yeah.
You know, I'm like, that's why I've learned that doesn't do. When there's a problem, I address it immediately. I don't wait, because you can't. Because if you wait, then they start saying, what are you talking about? I don't remember. That didn't happen. So I'd rather address something right when it happens.
So what are all these tires about, bro?
Inventory, different sizes. It's actually organized, believe it or not.
That's a good question for you, which you're going to hate. So how do you keep track of your inventory?
What do you mean, how?
Yeah, like, you have all these tires.
Okay, these are low profile.
I'm always fighting with him about having a barcode so that he could have this on a computer and know right away.
But I can't do it because Dad's going to sell the tires. He's not going to scan them out. And then it's a waste of time and energy on my part. I got to kill Dad.
That's terrible.
That's the only way. No, it's actually organized. These are all 19s, big 19s. These are low profile 19s, and it goes down to this lane. I know where everything is. I try to show my employees. They can't remember, which I don't understand, because in Home Depot, you can ask any employee where the paint is, and they're going to tell you the number immediately.
Because they got training. They got onboarding. How much training and onboarding do you do?
Bro, how many times do you want me to walk them around this freaking shop?
All right, fine. Let's switch subjects. If you're giving advice to a brand new entrepreneur trying to start their own business, what advice would you give that person?
It's not going to come quickly. It's not gonna come easily. You know, it's like that's it. It's not gonna be instantaneous. You know, you gotta be patient with it. You know, I've been here 25 years, and I would say we started like actually like really doing good 5 years ago.
So out of the 25 years you've been here, you think it took 20 years to really be doing, I mean, obviously it sustained your life throughout this time,
Yeah.
but you want to say in the last 5 years was when you really saw a difference.
Yes.
Awesome.
I didn't quit on it. I kept at it. You know.
What changed? So what actually changed? What was the switch that got flipped that allowed you to start seeing more growth or more prosperity?
Pandemic.
What aspect of the pandemic?
We never had a customer problem. We always had an inventory problem, and I just never had the capital to run the business the way it was supposed to be ran. I didn't have certain like new tire inventory. I didn't have any. People want things here and now. That's the way. That's our society, and I didn't have the capital to have all the size that I needed.
So how important was it for you to take the risk and actually invest that capital into merchandise to be ready for the clients that were coming in?
Say the question again.
How important was it for you to take the risk to invest in these assets, in the tires, or in your inventory?
For me, it was no risk at all. It's the money in the bank or the money here. The money here, you make a profit on it. We have the customers, we just didn't have the inventory. I knew that I'll get that money back tenfold.
But most people don't have the mindset to actually have money it feels a lot safer to have money in the bank than money in inventory, because this is just sitting here.
Exactly.
These are dollars
But guess what? But when you sell it, you're making money on it. In the bank, you're not making any profit at all. And especially if you don't have a certain number, then the bank's going to charge you every month. It might not be much, but they're going to charge you for it.
And you in particular, you don't invest in Google ads or almost any dollars in marketing whatsoever. What's been the biggest catalyst to bringing people into your door to actually buy these tires?
Word of mouth. We've been here that long, but mostly word of mouth.
Word of mouth.
That's it. Everybody knows. Everybody knows us. Even the other tire shops send us over here because they know we have every size. We have everything.
And because you're dependable?
We're dependable. We have it here. We're here 7 days a week. You know? And especially if you don't have, if somebody goes, the hardest thing for any business is for somebody to walk through the doors. When they walk through that door, you better have what they want. Because if not, they may come back. If they do come back a second time and you don't have it again, you're never going to see them again. The hardest thing of a business is for somebody to walk into the door. After that, you're more than 50% that you're going to sell something.
Yeah, I agree. I think if people are coming to you for the service that you have and they're knocking on your door, you better close on that sale, because otherwise they're going to go somewhere else. Yeah. But if you close on the sale and you're giving them the service that they desire, then that's it, you've won. And you're going to retain them long term.
Oh yeah,
because once they come once, they're going to come again. And each one person represents a whole network of people. That's why when I talk to people about social media and Instagram, and you get one person that is drawn to you, then all of a sudden that one person could represent 10 people, they could represent 100 people, they could represent 2,000 people, depending on their audience, right, and what they do. And if this is somebody who's constantly dealing with the public, and you're constantly popping up in their mind, like as for me, for mental health, I always want to pop up in somebody's mind, because now when anybody comes to them with a problem with depression, anxiety, or any family issue,
Adrian,
mental health, Adrian, they need therapy, Adrian. The same thing with you. Tires, Benny. Those are the associations I want entrepreneurs to make with themselves. I've had people tell me
all the time, "Oh, I forgot about you." It's like, bro, I've been doing this my whole life.
Yeah, but why have they forgotten about you? How often?
I'm not around.
And how often are you posting on social?
No, never.
No. So the more of an association that you make with people, I'm Benny the tire guy, over and over and over again. All of a sudden, every time they think about changing tires, they're gonna think about you. No, what I was saying when we were back there. Yeah, it's important to just link your brand or whatever it is that you do to you as a person, because there's no reason that everybody that you've known, you're born and raised here in Miami. Think about it, elementary, middle school, high school, and then your adult life. How many people have you come in contact with in that span of time? How many of those people need tires? All of them.
Do you know how many of those people are my customers? Bro, out of everybody that I know, I'd say maybe 30 people. Maybe.
But why? So the question is why? Because if I post you on social media and I just put it up, every time I post up this shop, I get at least one hit, or at least 2 or 3 people. Oh, your brother's shop. Oh, your brother's shop. Hey, your dad's shop.
Call him. Don't write to him. No, don't write to him on Instagram. He's never gonna answer.
No, I give him your cell phone number.
Yeah.
I give him your cell phone number. I'm like, call my brother. How many people come through? So it's social media where I'm just driving customers to you. Why? Because I'm making that link. Now they're thinking about, mental health, but then they're also thinking, oh, your dad has a tire shop.
And they also see the videos you put of dad, and they're like, oh, I want to see this guy in person.
So yeah, so just even the thought of, oh, I want to see what that place is like. There's action going on there. People just want to go somewhere that feels homey. And so all my friends that have come here, they're like, oh, that place was funny, bro. I had a good time.
Yeah, you know what it is to say that? You're going to get tires and you had a good time?
Oh, because there's a sense of familiarity. That's why. There's a sense of like, oh, this is Adrian's brothers and dad's shop. They run this.
And the way we are, hey, what's up, bro? Oh, yeah.
And that's it.
And especially, you want some coffee? Get a coffee.
Exactly. So if,
like, oh,
again, so if
hey,
you associate yourself, Benny, to tires over and over on social media, I guarantee you will see more people that you have known in your past start coming through here, because now they're making that mental connection of Benny and tires over and over and over again, to the point where as soon as they think about tires, they're thinking about you and Papi in this shop. But if you don't do that, if you don't make that connection, yes, you will see that very few people will come here. And I hope I feel like in your face right now, I'm convincing you a little bit.
I've been wanting to. The thing is, I don't know where to start, and I'm not gonna do it. I got enough things. I'm juggling enough things.
So then that goes back into the same thing we talked about earlier, where Papi didn't want to invest into the infrastructure and the looks of the business like you have. Now it's time for you to start thinking about, how can I get my name and my face out there on social media more so that people recognize you? Not just all the stuff that goes on here, but really you as an individual and what you bring to the table in terms of, bro, I just want to help you. I want to get you tires and I'm not going to scam you. You don't have to worry about upcharges. You don't have to worry about people trying to finagle you into something else. I'm going to tell you what it is. I have the tires here. You'll be in and out and you're good to go.
You have no idea how many people come in. Oh, I want 4 new tires. I walk around their car, I'm like, you need 2 tires.
Yeah.
And I tell them the same thing, the same line. If you want to spend money, let's spend some money. I'll help you spend some money.
On what? What do you
And they
mean?
start laughing. Like, somebody literally comes here with the intention to buy 4 new tires. And I walk around their car, I tell them, you don't need 4 tires, you need 2 tires. So somebody will come here with the intention to buy 4 new tires.
Oh, yeah, okay.
And I walk around their car and I tell them, you don't need 4 tires, you need 2 tires. If you want to spend money, you want to change out 4, I'll be more than happy to do it. It's very easy to sell somebody 4 tires. Somebody comes for 4 tires, I've had this conversation with my employees because they're cute. They're like, why come you're not just selling them the 4 tires? Because I'm not worried about, we're going to sell no matter what here, thank God. I'm going to leave more of an impression with them if I just sell them the 2 and tell them they don't need 4. How many places do you go to and somebody tells you,
of course,
they don't upsell you, they're like, they downsell you. And you're like, what the hell?
Yeah, because that means that you're trying to take care of them. And again, long term, you're
yes.
going to retain that customer.
Yes. And they're going to recommend somebody. They're more likely to recommend somebody. Or they'll come back with their kid, with their mom, whoever. And for me, that's more than making that money now, because I could sell 4 tires. And
so where does that moral code come in for you?
I don't know. My wife calls it, I have a personal constitution. I don't know, just do what's right, and that's it. And everything will work itself out. Everything will come back to you. You know, you do dirtbag shit's gonna happen to you. No matter what in life, bad things are gonna happen. Things are gonna happen, but you just try to do the best that you can.
Oh, hold on. All I did was balance that truck, right? He said there's some success.
Don't worry about it, bro.
Oh, fuck.
Thank
I thought I took it off for a second.
Everything's all right. We never dismounted anything. We just took it off the car and we balanced it. It's okay. People come here with all kinds of stories. I had a guy once come. We changed the tire, and then his AC broke.
And he blamed it on you?
He came to daddy. He goes to me, oye, aire ahora paró trabajando. And it's like, the AC is nowhere near the tire. We changed the tire. That's it.
Correlation, not causation, no?
Or some people come here with the intention, they see that we're nice, and they think they can get over on us. I want to be very nice and polite, and very politely tell you to fuck off.
Okay, today for Monday, this has been tranquilito.
Oh, you weren't here in the morning?
No. Should I just close off?
Some people don't wake up early.
I wake up early. You think I don't wake up early?
I said to come here.
I wake up
here
early.
at opening time, that's it. I got cars waiting.
Oh. This guy's writing an old school check. You see this?
So how do I rate it? He's here. He wants his money now. How am I supposed to pay him?
Zelle. Do you take Cash App, Bitcoin?
Cash
I
App?
have Bitcoin.
I get a cheque. Billete.
Como quiera, ¿viste? Como quiera.
A mí es más trabajo. A mí es más fácil escribir este cheque than to do a Zelle. And the thing is, con Zelle, you gotta connect it to a cell phone number, not to a landline.
Yeah, I know that.
I know. Well, the number to the shop is this, so then I gotta remember the number to be able to send the Zelle.
Hay mucha gente que lo pasa por serio.
Sí, por Zelle, es fácil.
Pero el Zelle después como tú de verdad no lo ves. Con esto tengo el número de cheque.
Sí, porque después si él viene y te dice, oh, se me perdió el cheque, dame otro. Then you gotta put a stop payment on the check.
Eso no pasa mucho.
No.
Muy poco pasa. No, lo que sí puede pasar es, se lo meten en el bolsillo y suda y se caga el cheque. Eso yo lo he visto.
El problema es que él sabe cuando yo deposito.
El sábado.
Él
sabe.
Él sabe, ya.
A lo mejor no se da cuenta porque tiene mucho dinero.
Ah, sí, eso sí.
No, mucha cuenta. Mucha cuenta. It's not how much money you make, it's how much money you spend.
Any last words for the people?
I already told them. Go to school, learn a trade, say no to drugs.
That's it?
Yeah. Do unto others as you would like done unto you.
That's the golden rule. Do unto others as you have others do unto you. That's for sure, bro. That's the way I live my life. So, bueno, guys, thanks for joining me here at my dad's tire shop. My dad and my brother's tire shop. My brother claims it's only his, but that's
my shop.
And my dad's the expensive employee.
Yeah, pretty much. I run this.
I'm curious to see what he does with this place in the next couple of years. If he's only progressed tremendously in the past 25 and the last 5 have been the most prosperous, I know that he's going to kill it in the next 10. So let's see how this goes.
I got high hopes.
We're out.